Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Juggernaut, and Stalker Gamma is even more amazing right now. I mean, it was always amazing. It was an incredible feat of engineering and modding and, well, everything else. But now I've played it in its very latest installment, and it's just that. It's even more incredible. And I want to talk to you about it, and I want to show you why. First and foremost is what you're looking at right now, and that is the performance. We're getting a solid, 200 FPS, mind you, on a very, very, very good computer, but still, regardless, the game is buttery smooth, with explosions, with large firefights, with mutants, with all sorts of effects, anomalies, you name it. The game is buttery smooth. Playing as a monolith character currently in the Red Forest, I'm going to walk around for a little bit and I'm going to show you a few of the gameplay elements. Now, if you've seen my Escape from Pripyat series, and any of them really, you know what the gunplay and the gameplay is like in games like this, and especially in mods like this. It's pretty much the same here, with the huge variety of weapons. You still have the good old AK-12 that I've been using a lot in one of my playthroughs. Look at that, with deep sight and everything. Cool. There's also this brilliant little thing. There's also this, with a scope that's unfortunately not picture-in-picture. That would have been ideal, but it's still a very, very, very good scope, and all of them are like this. And yes, they do have this little sort of 3D effect when you mouse around left and right. The gameplay, the gunplay and all that is pretty much the same. One thing that makes Gamma stand out the most, I would say, from... I believe I can't loot any of these, right? The one thing that makes Gamma stand out the most from Escape from Pripyat and similar overhaul mods for a STALKER Anomaly is the fact that you cannot buy weapons in this game. There is a weapons ban in the zone, and well, at least that's the lore reason behind it. And so you're driven towards crafting, picking up all the different weapons and all the different tools and stuff that you can from the world, and using them to repair guns instead of buying them. However, there's a very, very, very easy roundabout way of getting around the ban, or the lack of trader weapons in the zone, and that's by enabling the black market mod, which essentially makes it so that traders will sell some limited weapons. So, for some of the really best stuff out there, you're going to need A, the highest tier of traders available, and then B, you're going to need to actually pick up those weapons yourself, depending on what kind of guns you want. But let's talk a little bit more in general about Stalker Gamma. It houses a whopping, and I need to check this before I lie to you, yep, 520 mods. And we're just going to go through the mod configuration menu really quickly. From ZCP to yet another campfire saving mod, to all of this. It features new quests, new repeatable quests, the old storyline is still there, the body health system, an auto looter, blackjack. You can now play blackjack, yes, the card game with most traders and a lot of the NPCs. Hideout furniture, which I think uses a newer version than EFP, and there's a lot of it. What else is there? I don't know. A stealth system that's actually really, really good. EFP's stealth system is a little bit limited. The stealth system in Gamma is a lot better. It also features a Souls-like experience, where every time you die, you don't get to reload. No. You get this. A percentage of your HP gets lost, you get dragged off by a friendly stalker to a nearby base or your last spawn, and then you need to go and get your loot back. You can also configure the percentage chance that you're going to lose something, for example, outfits, weapons, artifacts, headgear, and there's also ignored items which will never be looted from you, such as bandages and medkits, although I'll turn off bandages and medkits, honestly. You pick up bandages and medkits from your enemies, right? But PDAs, radio detectors, quick release systems, and bolts and stuff like that shouldn't be lost. And there you go. So it has a Souls-like system. Truly, the creativity of the modding team and all the people that have contributed to Stalker Gamma never ceases to amaze me, ever. And then I also want to show you one more thing. It even has a parkour system. And it works incredibly well. And now, here's the kicker. All of this, I've been playing yesterday for about, I don't know, a couple of hours. For returning subscribers, I'm still having the spine problems. I can't really play for long, I can't really sit down for long, and it's really difficult to focus and talk and make scripted videos and all that. I covered it in the previous channel update if you're interested, but yeah, I'm having some health issues. Despite that, though, I've played for a couple of hours without a single bug or crash. Now, let me just emphasize that one more time. Without a single bug or crash. It's not just that the game works, it hasn't bugged out once. Which is more than I can say for EFP. EFP has been a tad buggy at times, depending on what mods and what things you have loaded in. It can be a little bit tricky. For example, the backpack animation causes some soft locks in EFP. Picking up some items sometimes causes a variety of problems. Yeah. But, excuse me for a second. We have a mutant start down, I believe, is it? Is it over? It is, I just need to get to it somehow. Okay. We'll get to the little mutant. I started off as a monolith character from Pripyat, actually. AK-12 in hand, ammunition and everything. Ended up losing all the ammo, or using up all the ammo for the AK-12, and now I'm down to this pistol, which admittedly I have a good chunk of ammo for, but yeah, still not exactly easy. The one thing I will say is I think the difficulty of Gamma is a little bit different. In EFP, the difficulty comes from the actual combat of getting shot at, right? You get shot at, you die, that's where the difficulty comes in. Enemies are tough in that they're accurate, and you're soft and weak. Not as a person or a player, I mean, your protection isn't great, you get killed easily. In Gamma, you have a little bit more cushion there. In that sense, it's a little bit closer to the original Anomaly, or if you will, the original trilogy. But the difficulty here comes from the survival aspects of the game. That is to say, the main brunt of the difficulty is actually in stuff like finding the tools, finding the ammunition, crafting the weapons, maintaining the weapons, which is extremely important and something you cannot do without. And so, in that sense, there's a little bit of a learning curve. You do need to get to a point where you know what you're doing, you know what tools you need for what kind of weapons, but the UI is, I would say, mostly helpful and good enough to get you through all that relatively easily. I thought there was something on my feet. And in fact, I believe I can take a moment right here and show you. So, for example, this is one of the sniper rifles that I found. It's a Remington 700 with the Magpul Pro chassis, and it even has, I actually didn't notice this, it even has a red dot on the side, doesn't it? How do I, yeah, there you go. Even has a red dot on the side. Beautiful, beautiful little weapon. problem is, it's a bit broken. Now, the barrel is in good condition, which is the most important part of the gun, because everything else can be replaced. However, I need a lock, an ejector, and 2VL for it, which is... well, it's something. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I need an ejector, a lock, and... it's not the trigger mechanism, it's something else. It's, yeah, one more thing I need for it. I think it says right there, it's the bolt... yeah, it's the bolt and the bolt carrier group. Right, there you go. It even says up there, check it out, you can read it. Now, I need to find those parts, not necessarily from a Remington 700. They can be from different rifles of a similar caliber and a similar type. So, 7.62x51 NATO sniper rifles, of which there are several in the game. You strip them if they have a good bolt and a bolt carrier group and a good ejector. You can strip those out, put them in this gun, simply clean the gun, and use it forever and ever, provided you can clean it. Now, there's a few, how do I put this, hurdles that you need to get across when initially getting into Gamma, and that is, what's the thing that you need to loot and what's the thing that you need to avoid? You need to avoid anything that has a durability of less than 60%. It's not completely useless, but it's more or less useless. Anything that's above 60% can be repaired, and as such is pretty useful to you. Anything that's below, we're talking about weapons here. Anything that's below that is a little bit problematic and not really useful. This is unlike Gamma. This is unlike EFB. In EFB, it's a little bit different. There's also different types of cleaning rods, different types of equipment, and it does differ. So, for example, back in the day, these files, and if you remember from EFP, these could be used to clean barrels. Here, not so much. They're used for crafting cleaning kits, not for cleaning weapons themselves. So, there's that. But, on the plus side, if the whole system with cleaning weapons and maintaining them and stuff seems a little bit too complicated, it is, at least to an extent, modifiable. And so, you can, if you wish, tune things a little bit. For example, a lot of the enemies will drop completely broken guns, which I don't find very realistic, even if it is, you know, in the spirit of things and in the spirit of making the game more difficult. I feel like it's a little bit too much. Excuse me for a second while we engage in a firefight against the AFU. To demonstrate a couple of things, really. One, the player protection, which, as you can see, isn't the best, even with a relatively solid set of armor. But we do have just a pistol, and we've managed to take out 3 soldiers in the mines, so... you know. I wouldn't call it all that difficult either. Anywho. Grab a drink. Also need to grab something to eat. Let's do that as well. Also, as you might have figured, cooking is a big part of the game, and so is... wondering, does this fix... ibuprofen doesn't fix my head, does it? No. Does this fix my head? Yes, it does. There you go. Let's use that. Okay. That will be the medication, I'm assuming. Or something else. No, I don't have a grenade. That's a big problem. And he might, which is an even bigger problem. Okay, the one thing Gamma doesn't have is magazines, so you're just using up regular ammo, just like in the vanilla games, and that's it. Is it a tad unfortunate? Yes and no. To be honest, nowadays I kind of find the magazine redux thing a little bit tedious. It is cool, it is immersive, but it is also a little bit tedious and not really necessary. I mean, you put 4 mags on and chances are you're going to get to reload them in between firefights. And if you don't, you can always just run back and reload them. So feel like it doesn't contribute all that much to the game. Although I could be wrong about that. What do you reckon? We just rush him? What kind of ammo am I using? I'm using AP. Yeah, let's just rush him. Oh, I did get him. Okay. Good. Good. Wasn't sure if I got him there. And there we go. And now you can also configure the amount of ammo the enemies drop. And I've configured it to something really, really high because I'm playing a monolith character, and as you can imagine, buying ammunition is not exactly going to be the easiest thing ever. But here's the gist of how the looting system works. You find a gun that has good parts, and you pick up the good parts, and you leave the bad. And that's about it, right? I mean, trigger mechanism is at 60. I reckon when I picked it up now, it's going to be at like 50 something, so I should probably toss it for that reason. No? No, it's 61 there, it's fine. Armor is a little bit more forgiving when it comes to repairs, but not by much. I think around 50% is the golden rule for it, and I haven't noticed, but there is indeed a pseudo giant here. And I don't need a top tier knife to get the pseudo giant's parts, although I think better knives help with that to some extent. Like, you might be able to get more parts out of it or something, but yeah. At any rate, that's it. Grab these things. Definitely grab the ammo. Or the AK-12. Which, I mean, it's going to be hollow points. Not the best thing ever, but... eh? But in fact, why am I doing this when I can do... Sorry. Why am I doing this when I can do... this? What, completely blind yourself? Check it out. No, you get what I'm trying to get at. I picked this up randomly from a stash that I found. Yeah. Yikes, right? One of the best night vision systems in the game, just lying around. Quite amazing. There are a few more differences I like to point out as we sort of talk a little bit more about Gamma and come to the close of this video. One of those things is the fact that the game is a lot emptier than Escape from Pripyat. Of course, this is something that you can tune, and it is something that you can change, so take all of this with a pinch of salt, but it is emptier. It is different in many aspects, but the core gameplay element is sort of the same and sort of there for you, right? On the other hand, can I put the Seymour on this thing? Yes, I can. Good. Good, there you go. That'll be easier to use now. The zone feels a lot emptier. It feels like, well, it feels like more of a survival game, right? You're trying to find food, you're trying to find loot, you're trying to take care of yourself more so than a shooter. EFP is definitely a shooter. at least in its preset. Again, all of these things can be tweaked. You can amp up the population factor in the zone by 10, and all of a sudden this won't feel very empty, right? But I'm talking about the basic preset and generally what the game and what Gamma is balanced towards. It's balanced towards, as stupid as the sentence is going to sound, a more balanced approach. Rather than just fighting your way through everything, looting everyone, and that being the source of all your both problems and solutions, Gamma is balanced more around exploration as well as fighting. So, a part of your solution, a part of your ammunition, upgrades, PDAs, stashes, everything is going to come from killing people and is going to come from combat. Part of it is going to come from doing some fairly mundane and boring fetch quests, delivery quests. Part of it is going to come down to exploration. And there it's also really difficult. The Gamma expects you to go... Again, I need a visual representation of this. For example, you want to go to Dead City. I always take that as a good example of exploration because it has so many different buildings. You want to go to Dead City, right? As a mercenary, for example. Because if you're not going to be able... You're going to be fighting through every single building. But if you want to go to Dead City as a mercenary, Gamma expects you to go into every single one of these buildings and look for stuff. Well, it doesn't really expect you to do anything, but that's what you need to do, right? You need to go into every single one of these buildings and look for cleaning kits, look for canned food, look for all sorts of things. If you don't, you're going to have a hard time, right? EFP expects you to go into some of them and rewards you with a brand new set of armor now in the recent update and the recent settings when it comes to loot and everything. Or it'll reward you, like it rewarded me, with a brand new sniper rifle, and one of the best in the game at that. Which is amazing, right? But it's also kind of easy in that sense. I mean, not easy in the sense of the game itself. Yes, EFP is by no means easy. However, hey, I got him. Unless there's more. There was indeed more. Alright. Wonder what that electric thing is, and is it a teleporter? I do not want to find out now that it's gone and beep, beep, beep. I really don't at this point. Because I know the base games had teleporters that looked kind of like that, but eh. Oh, you know what, let's do it for science. Who gives a crap? Yes, I've turned off campfire saving, which is something that you can do. It is a teleporter. It teleported me next to an anomaly. Bit rude, but it is a teleporter. Okay. Yeah, it is like the base game. Cool. I mean, there's one addition I was hoping for, but didn't know it was actually in the game. Of course, the Forester's doors. Yeah, of course, the Forester's door is locked to the monolith. Okay. That was unexpected. Which is also, incidentally, a pretty decent segue into the next thing I want to talk about, and that is the lack of bugs. And the attention to detail that has gone into Gamma that is still lacking in some aspects of EFB. And that is... I mean, it's really... If I can be a bit, maybe too direct and maybe even a little bit rude about it. I've been playing Gamma for a while now. Not once have I been killed by the BS lightning strike anomaly. Not once. Been killed several times with it in EFP. Just saying, right? Yeah. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, they fixed it. I figure EFP can as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there is an anomaly that randomly occurs in the game. It's basically like a lightning strike. So, say you're in a building somewhere, and I've done this in Zaton, for example. I've talked to the mercenary trader in the basement, and I've been talking to him. All of a sudden, I hear the lightning coming, and I'm like, I'm inside, it's not going to get me, right? And I get hit by lightning, and I get instantly killed. You can imagine how annoying that is if you're playing on Iron Man mode. Even if you're using Life Giver and have several lives, it's still annoying as hell, right? Well, that hasn't happened in this mod. Here, the lightning strike happens, but way up in the sky. It never actually hits the ground, and so it never kills anyone. It just is an atmosphere, a part of the atmosphere, a part of the zone. It's there. It makes a loud noise. You definitely feel it, but it doesn't kill you for no reason whatsoever, which I think is pretty bloody awesome. And now let's take a look at one of the traders here. Whoops. Oh, I need an RF receiver for that. Yeah, sure. Some of the things that you can buy, and I have set up so the black market is active. From this guy, I can buy nothing. Yeah, can't buy anything from this guy. Oh well, better luck next time. We can try with someone else maybe, or something. So yeah, black market I would say is definitely the way to go. It's just that, well, there's varying degrees of success to it. The one thing that doesn't really make sense to me about the whole trade ban thing is that none of the merchants, even the monolith, don't have any firearms to sell, and yet everyone in the zone has a gun. Right? Like, one of these things is not like the other. I don't expect them to sell fully fixed guns all the time, because then that wouldn't make sense why everyone is using broken guns, right? But some sort of balance, and I think the black market mod definitely adds that sort of balance. I would way prefer that, tweaking it slightly to just straight up removing the economy of Gamma, which you can also do. You can play this as a regular anomaly economy, right? So it is an option for you. And now let's take a look at our task board, see if there's anything else we need to do. Eliminate dangerous mutants in the Red Forest. Not sure. Basic tools for Dashbog, bandit patches, loner patches. Oh, there's two of these. Well, I'll look into that later. For now, that has been Stalker Gamma, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for a comprehensive guide and an explanation as to what Gamma is and, all the different gameplay elements of it and so on and so forth, then this is not the place to find it, obviously, for one. But I recommend that you don't do that or don't look for it in a certain sense as well, because I think that the beauty of games like this is actually exploring and finding out for yourself. At least it always has been for me, and Gamma is revived, I guess. Yeah, I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, Gamma has definitely revived my interest in Stalker Anomaly, and of course, bear in mind that anything and everything you see on the screen can be tuned and modified, because this is, after all, a mod pack. So if you don't like the fact that I have, for example, and this comes on as default, I have a faction identifier. Bottom left side of the screen, you can see Yurka Arsonist, member of the Sin faction. If you don't like that, you can turn it off. I have a mini-map on the bottom right side. Again, it comes equipped default, or it comes turned on by default. But if you don't like it, you can also turn it off. All of these things can be changed according to your wants and needs. And that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Stalker Gamma. I really now need to stand up and lie down or something because I can't really sit anymore. I need to move. For a more detailed video, and I guess for a more... I'm going to Jupiter, right? Yeah. For a more detailed video and for more well thought out videos, scripted, prepared, and more professional comparisons, wait until I get better, or, you know, you can always check out some of my... friends or some other colleagues, content creators that made Gamma videos. There's a billion of them out on YouTube. It's infinitely replayable and it's truly, truly amazing. I've noticed I haven't played much of the main storyline. This Monolith character I've set up like last night just for this video, but I've played as a mercenary. I've tried the main quest line. It works. I haven't noticed any problems with it, so the story mode works. Yeah, that's about it. Warfare mode, I think, is broken, so if you really enjoy Warfare mode, you might want to stick to EFP. I think it works a little bit better there. But other than that, yeah, the one thing I will say is a bit of a negative when it comes to Gamma is the inability to start off with any type of tools. I would add that if you're considering, you know, starting a run and you're not exactly an expert at the game and you're still looking at... you know, you're still learning things and so on and so forth, I would maybe add a set of tools. Not all of them, just basic tools and gunsmithing tools. I would do that at the start of the game. And as I've seen, there's no option of doing that so far in the, you know, base preset, so you might need to actually change that on your own. The reason being, finding tools and, well, really finding anything in this game is pretty difficult and takes a bit of time. Not to the point where it feels like too much of a grind, because it's honestly not. You're always finding something, right? You're always doing some quest, you're always on the road to do something. At no point does it feel boring. However, it does get a bit old. After a time, not having any tools, and if you're unlucky and you can't seem to find them anywhere, it gets extra unlucky, right? In fact, I can share the secret with you. The main way you find tools in this game is in stashes, but not random stashes, stashes that you've learned about through either looting dead bodies or through quests. Yeah, so random stash like that, for example, will only have one item, whereas... Okay, that is a large caliber weapon. He can see me, I can't see him. Lovely. Okay. Woo! I'm now officially out of medkits as well, aren't I? Well, not really. I have an army medkit. I can use that. Push comes to shove. It's just two guys, right? Yeah, looks like it. I did bump up the population a little bit just to make things a little bit more fun. Also, I'm going with the logic that I'm going to be fighting a lot of people, and I need to fight a lot of people as the monolith because, well, how else am I going to get anything? It's not like I'm going to be out here doing a ton of quests every day. So, yeah, that was sort of my logic. Don't need to clean this yet. Don't need to clean this yet. Alright. You're good. Now, where's your friend? I shot your friend somewhere, I'm absolutely sure of it. Not entirely sure where. Wasn't in the bushes. Over here on the left? Yeah, it's over here on the left. Hello. Okay, that might be interesting. Painkiller's good. And so is the revolver. In fact, that's a very good revolver, and I guess one of the best spots about it is it only has 2 moving components. Huh. Oh, there you go. And then also I can field strip the bolt carrier from this, and I think I can install it in this gun, right? Just a heads up, if you have a cluttered inventory, this is a good way of doing things. There's filters down here. Equip the weapon that you want. And yeah, there you go. So now we're just missing the ejector and the bolt, and we have ourselves just a very, very, very incredibly good sniper rifle. Of course, you can use weapons with lower quality components. It's not like they don't work. They do. It's just that they tend to jam, and, well, I mean, for sniper rifles, it's not that big of an issue, honestly. Usually you're fighting at extreme distances where even if you do have a jam, it's not a big problem, but they do degrade the weapon as a whole when you use them, so I don't know why I tend to avoid them. Speaking of, time to fix up our armor. Get to 94, I think that'll do fine. And we can have a drink, and with that toast, I suppose, we'll end to this video. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a quick little showcase of STALKER GAMMA. An incredible mod, a truly, truly incredible mod, which I am in absolute love with, and I do intend to play more once I'm able. Yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me down in the comments below, although I am by no means an expert. I will try and answer. The installation process is a little bit complicated. In fact, you are installing like 520 or so mods, I think, so yeah, it's a little bit complicated, but it's nothing too difficult. It's not like you're going to put them one by one in a folder or something. It is automated. It's just, well, you'll see. I suppose you can go over to the Gamma Discord and find all your information there. And that's it. Yeah, I think I've covered everything. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed it, and we'll stay tuned with the rest of the series and First Impression series and the Showcase series, I suppose, but with the rest of the content that I produce on this channel as well. I'll see you all next time. Until then, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.